have chosen to call me your own. You are God from beginning to the end. There's no place for arguments. You are God all by yourself. You are good from beginning to the end. There's no place for arguments. You are God all by yourself. Hi. Hi guys. Happy Sunday. Welcome to another episode of Channel Life Moments with Patricia. And you all know me. I'm your host, Patricia EJ. And I want to say thank you guys for holding on until I came through. So today, what I want to talk about is addiction. And do you guys know that in America is alone? Because I did a survey, really. I'm not gonna lie to you. Before I started, talking about this, I didn't just do a survey. I read, and I wanted to know. When you want to know what is really happening around you, you but first to read, go to Google, ask questions, and all that. And what I read about America as a whole and the percentage of people who are addicted. Do you know that in America alone, 23 million people are addicted to one thing or the other? It's either alcohol, heroin, meth, cocaine, are just addicted to substance, and they abuse it. And out of the 23 million, believe you me, it is just 40%. 40 that goes, to rehab to get themselves, sober and all that. And it's not even believe you me, the 40% that still goes to rehab or to get sobriety or to get sober, like 10% of them just stay sober. And then the remaining 60 to how many percent still goes back. They suffer what they call relapse, and then they go back there. And during this course of all this, I want to tell you just very, small story from my experience. When I first got into this country, I know that, usually when you're coming, to stay in America, I live in Houston, Texas. I know the way they'll tell you, if you have to get a job, you need to look for a job that's going to give you money. You need to, but I've always been about, if you're doing anything, you do it with a passion first before you think about. That's just me. I always feel do what you love, do it with a lot of passion and all that. When I got into this country and I became legal and I started working, honestly, I got a job that I had to wear suits and look all cleaned up and, big phone calls and talk, if you all understand what I'm talking, call centers and all that, work. But I found out that my passion is still with, helping those that are sick, those that are not able to help themselves. So what I did was, in the morning when I go to my suits, and I call it suit and tie job, in the afternoon, I go to my other job, It was just the passion that I have for, these people that find themselves in a very vulnerable situation. And then each time when I'm working, oftentimes, like where I used to work, I ignore files sometimes. But later, I started picking up files to read. And I found out that a lot of them were normal. They were very okay, but something, maybe they just found themselves in a bad place, bad friends, bad company, and then the next thing they started using, and then they just can't go back anymore to that same place where they're supposed to be. And some really want to stop, but because they feel that they've hit the rock bottom, they can't. And some people are just ashamed because they feel that, oh, they have, it's a stigma, it's a disease. A lot of people already know that I use. So they really cannot come out and let you know that this is the situation where they are. And some, they use and use and use until life goes out of them. And it's something that is really eating into the society. Because if 23 million plus people are actually into it, addicted to meth and all that, cocaine, substance abuse, and then the only people that get themselves sober or get themselves sobriety is just 40 to 60% of them, and then 10% of them stay sober. The rest, where's the rest? Where are the rest people? Do the maths. They are still addicted. They are still there. Some people, when they come out searching for help, for people to help them, just because, when they check them into the hospital, then they have to be on the waiting list for someone to now help them, or for the government to now interfere. A lot of times, a lot of people are in the waiting list for the homes they're going to put them, for them to be able to get back, themselves. And some people, it hurts. Let me tell you, I have not been there. I don't smoke, I don't drink, but I've seen it because I've worked with people like that. And I have seen situations where withdrawal syndrome, it's not that easy. Like you say, some will cry, some will cut themselves, some will almost want to take their lives just because they're withdrawing from what? From meth and all that. They just can't, hold it. And some, they are really struggling. It's a struggle for them to really come out of it. And some, they feel that if they open up to you that they're users and they're on the road to recovery, you're just going to put that stigma on them. And I want you to understand this. They are humans. They are people like you and I. They just found themselves in a place where they didn't expect they will ever be. Rock bottom. That led them to doing. And that's why, if you notice, I'm always particular about depression and particular because these things lead to what we're talking about. It actually leads to them using. Some people were abused while they were young. Some people just can't stand the loss of someone they love most in their life. Something, took them, to that place, to the point of no return. And it has really affected them. And then the next thing they feel that they will want to turn to is using. Because I have worked with people like that and I'm so passionate about them. I know that they're human like me. I know this, that I know how to handle them. I know what it feels like, to talk them out of it and then to push them on the path of recovery. Honestly, it is not easy. And that's why when you find someone that it's a user around you, condemning them won't solve it. Making them feel less of themselves won't. They will always go back. No matter, see, you will find out that even the people it's not just people that don't have money that use. Even the richest people, lawyers, presidents, a lot of, as in the people you least expected, ministers, they use because they're looking for something to numb a particular pain in them that they're going through. And they cannot discuss it with anybody. They feel, this is the best way out for me. So I just want to, urge everyone out there. If you have a friend, a lover, a mom, a dad that is a user, you making them feel less of themselves. A child that is a user will not allow you win. First, you start with, I'm telling you, maybe because I'm going to tell you the truth. I am a Christian. I love God. I'm passionate about God. I am God's own. I'm God's property. So if I'm saying all this with you, I'm still going to talk about God. I'm still going to add my Christianity in it because that's my faith. That's what I believe in. But the truth about it is that you can't really, win by, because oftentimes those people, let me just tell you the truth. The people that use, as long as they still have the numbers of those people that supply them, they will keep doing it. So first, if you want someone to stop, the first thing you should first do, take their phone away. Delete all the numbers there, because the people that come to give them, are usually on their phone. They kept their number somewhere. So when you always find out that they go back, when something like this thing happens, they just go back, pick up their number and say, oh, I think this is the best thing that will solve this problem for me. Without them knowing that there is no other user that survives it. That's the truth. You will end up, after a while, they end up taking their lives because it's either they die of drug overdose or something. And so when you're dealing with someone who is a user, one of the best way to deal with them first is to disconnect them from the friends that led them into that. Also disconnect them from those who supply, because they have it on their phone. It's just a call. And then that's it. And then at the end of the day, most of them are always looking for someone to talk to because you always assume they're happy. I mean, I always say this, happiness is not, when you all dressed up, come to the gram, looking all flashy, and then everybody's saying, yeah, she knows what. No. Some people are confused. Some people don't know where they're going. Some people don't know what tomorrow holds for them. And the people that are recovering, and let me tell you, the best way to also help the people that are recovering is mix them with the people that are recovering too. Let them talk about it. Let them, be free to talk about it with you, to tell you the truth about it, because it's not easy. It's not, I'm telling you. I've worked with them. I've seen it. I know what, having that withdrawal syndrome is. I know what it feels like. I know how it makes them feel. I know that sometimes some people even run mental. Addiction, it's a killer. It's a disease. And the road to recovery, it is not hard. Neither is it narrow. But I say something, with God, all things are possible. If you have anyone that is going through that, first pray for them. Pray for God to use you as a bridge. Because sometimes some of them, they want to actually come out of it, but because they have burnt all the bridges of, some of the, because if you have a user, they come to you today, you say, okay, I'm going to help you. They come. By the time they come 3-4 times, they probably to themselves, oh, they've actually burnt all the bridges, so they can't come back to you no more. So please and please and please and please, if you have anybody in your family, because I know, I'm a Nigerian. And let me tell you something. I know that some people are now getting used to it in my country too. So it is big for me. I know that. I know what it feels like when I see people saying they take codeine, they take, tramadol, trazodone. I know all this medication because of my field where I work. So when I find you with a narcotics med, I know that you're addicted to something. Alcoholism too. Some, because of it, they've turned to sex. They just want to get, high, and then the next thing they want to do is find someone they want to sleep with, and then before you know it, it leads to HIV. It is real. It is real, and I'm telling you from the depth of my heart, if you have anyone using, please help them to the path of recovery. Help them to the path of recovery is very important. Meth does nothing for anybody. Cocaine, nothing. Whatever you take, it does nothing. Tramadol, trazodone, clonazepam. Don't get addicted to any painkiller. Don't. I understand. Without, saying much, because I believe I've taken much of your time today, I want to thank you guys for waiting on me for this video. I appreciate you guys. And if you're just joining me, please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel at House of Magdalene. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, House of Magdalene, and on Facebook, because I do my inspiration, motivation every day. I appreciate you guys so much for everything. You all know it's your girl, Patricia. Until we see you again. Bye.